Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Neo Reality Eric. I represent the advocacy and special counsel of the tribal chief, the Mad Dog, your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. So, welcome everyone. I just needed to do that necessary info for no reason because I wanted to do it. So, yeah, this isn't plugged in. I'm using my Blue Yeti. So, welcome on and all to the WrestleVerse. And, oh boy, this is going to be a hot topic. So, Roman Reigns has been having the time of his life right now, being a heel, doing all this high engaging content and story driven character of the tribal chief gimmick and the Mad Dog persona he's taken on, where he has beaten the crap out of everybody and demolished them in the most painful of ways. And while some people have made the argument that ever since Uso aligned with him, he does look like to be going the cowardly heel route, though we'll have to see later down the road to see how long his reign is ultimately looked at. But I think I want to make this argument about this as we head into the Royal Rumble and head into WrestleMania season about Roman Reigns and the Universal Championship. So, as we know, Roman Reigns took the title from Bray Wyatt, who took it from Braun Strowman the week prior, who took it from Goldberg because Goldberg is a petty bastard who goes ahead and thinks that he should use his charity power or to go ahead and take people's stuff. I'm still pissed at that. Like, all due respect to Goldberg and his career, I know I'm being rude, but all due respect to Goldberg, but when the reports came out about why he won, like if it was just the Prince that whined and complained saying I want Goldberg to be the champion, then fine. Goldberg had no say in the matter because it's Saudi Arabia. It's either that or we get a mechanical issue going on. God knows I don't want to deal with that. But when it came out that he used his I'm a superhero for them kids, think of the children, it comes off like you're exploiting your good deeds to get rewards. Like you should be rewarded for being a good person. So, yeah. Yeah. Which is why I'm glad Goldberg is not challenging for Roman Reigns' title, because he will use that excuse probably again to get what he wants. Sadly, he's going after Drew McIntyre and trying to make McIntyre a villain, even though that context makes no sense. And even WWE admitted, we don't know why he did that. We honestly thought he was going to go off script. Yeah. Yeah, that was reported. They thought they gave him a script to act like an idiot. But they were hoping, okay, let's just hope Goldberg just breaks the rules, and then we can say we're the good guys here. And then he followed the script, and now they have completely no story. The story that they presented that never really happened. I'm like, unless he beat up Hulk Hogan, then he would have been the instant face. So, yeah, Goldberg is set to destroy Drew McIntyre's reign potentially, but Drew McIntyre is currently a face unless he is going heel for no reason. In which case, then Drew McIntyre has a shot at retaining the title more than The Fiend ever did. And that reign with The Fiend was going well, and it could have been much bigger if, they kept to, they do Revenge versus 17, which if you just slapped the name on a poster, it would sell arenas, because people were wanting to see this rematch to correct the wrongdoing from 6 years ago. But that's a different topic. So, yeah. This is about Roman Reigns. Now that he's Universal Champion, he's had several high-quality story matches with the Usos, and had a match with Braun Strowman that went surprisingly well. Is currently engaged in a storyline with Kevin Owens, and looks to be having feuds with Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, Big E, and Adam Pearce, but that's a different matter. I hope that's just a long-term swerve. Because that like, as much as the guy has been 5-time NWA champion. He hasn't wrestled in years. But I digress. So let's get into this topic. So he's had 6 title match, 5 title defenses, 1 big, and all of them have been pretty much ranged from exceptional to phenomenally awesome. Which leads to my declaration, since he has had 131 days of being champion again as this heel persona of the Mad Dog, we should have this talk, in my opinion. Should Roman, because I sincerely believe he has rightly earned this opportunity, should Roman have a Kazuchika Okada reign? I went there. Now, before someone in the comments kills me for blaspheming the inferior evil product that is WWE, to besmirch the legacy of Kazuchika Okada, can people please hear me out? Here's the thing, and because this is where the comment will really, if you will really were that darkly fanatic, they'll probably want to kill me once I say this. Actually, I think Roman Reigns has a chance to actually surpass Okada's iconic title reign. Hear me out. So, Okada had a reign when he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito Kingdom, and everything. And he would have that reign lasting all the way up to Kenny Omega in a 2 out of 3 falls match, no time limit. And leading to some of the best matches in Okada's career in wrestling history, and has been pages and pages of the annal books. But there is a discerning thing I notice whenever I look at Okada and the IWGP heavyweight belt around him. What the hell is his character? I said this in my Will Ospreay video about Okada and him and his match at Wrestle Kingdom, but and the commentators at the show even pointed this out. How can Okada move on without the title around his waist? Remember, the Rainmaker gimmick was built so that he can only challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight belt. He can't go after the IC title, even though he kinda did, but really he was the heavyweight champion, so it didn't matter. And he wouldn't go after the IWGP US belt, which means we can't get Jon Moxley versus Okada. Damn it. So why can't we do this? Why can't... So Okada's character is that he's locked in a certain belt. Okay, fine. But he can do a character, right? He can, but whenever he's the champ, he kind of doesn't. You notice that ever since, like, when Okada lost the belt to Omega, he went ahead and had this phenomenal character arc he was going through where he looked like he was going crazy, but at the idea that he's had this belt for 2 years, he can't live without it, and he dyed his hair, changed his clothing, changed his attire, even changed his style a little bit, and even started losing more, like he lost his mojo, and that actually gave a cool character arc. But when he won the belt back, it kind of vanished overnight. Like, after he beat Jay Whitehall and took back the IWGP Heavyweight belt, it was like, we're back to basics. And while there is sometimes a good thing when you want to go back to square one and start some new ideas, but they didn't try anything new. They just went with the Rainmaker, like he never lost the title in the first place. He's back, everyone. Mr. Rainmaker Trunks is back. So, yeah, this is the part where I'm saying Roman could actually surpass Okada in terms of impact of reign. So Okada made up for this with great wrestling matches, quality storytelling, as much as he could as well character, because that was a very, very definitive issue I had. But there was still a character underneath all that, even if he was just called the Rainmaker, and he showed his facial expressions, he could tell a story. It's just that he had a missing character piece, I felt. To the point that Forrest, I can't pronounce the last part of his name, of the YouTuber's name, said that he's just a belt on feet, a walking belt. So, yeah. So Okada had great quality match of the year matches day in and day out. His reign lasted for 2 years, 720 days to be precise, and had 14 defenses because New Japan's schedule is a lot different than the WWE schedule. So he had 14 title defenses. A lot of them were freaking phenomenal. Even his least famous matches was actually pretty damn good. His match with Evil, even though people say it's not really that good, but it's still pretty good. Like, that's the one thing I hear. Like, even people praised him for getting Bad Luck Fale to be having a great match. So, you got that component. What does Roman have, since he's not the world's greatest wrestler, we can admit to that. But what he makes up for it is the story, the quality of his performance, the selling, the drive. Whereas Okada has great matches, great stories. What's your character again? Besides being built for only the world title? Like, I'm gonna say it. That's my biggest issue with Okada. It just feels like he's built just around the title. It's not being built around him. And when he loses the belt, he goes through a character phase, but then they didn't want to implement that into his reign, so it was just so confusing to me. But to me, Roman could surpass Okada in that because he has a character. He's the tribal chief. He's the mad dog. He's beating the hell out of people. He's cutthroat in his promos now. He could probably beat John Cena in a promo match now after that disastrous contract signing. But I digress. He has Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman could be his Gato guy. And then the betrayal happens, and then we lose track of everything. But this is the Roman people wanted to see for some years now, especially after the Undertaker match. Because, oh god, that night was insane. After WrestleMania, like, oh man, 15 minutes, he was out in that ring, he just ate up the hatred, and was like, I have you in the palm of my hands. Boo me. Boo for me. And now he's more cutthroat than ever in his microphone skills, in his wrestling style. He's more ruthless than ever. And I honestly think he could do a 2-year reign with Okada, that match Okada's length. And imagine, like, Vince gets what he wants out of this. He gets to have a huge fetish problem with Roman because he's muscular. Roman gets to everyone wins in this because Vince gets what he wants. Fans get the heel Roman Reigns that we want. Paul Heyman gets to do something that's not boring with Lesnar. Whoever beats Roman after 2 years of dominating the scene gets to have the biggest push of their careers. But this is where another problem comes in. So, how should this work? How do you build up this thing? Because WWE system is a lot different than New Japan Pro Wrestling. Whereas when you watched New Japan Pro Wrestling, there were tournaments, there were special events. They didn't really operate the same schedule as the WWE. Okada only had 14 matches in his 2-year reign. Brock Lesnar was 500 days, and no one really talks about that anymore because if people did, they would be reminded that they would try to surpass Punk, even though they had Pete Dunne doing all the work. But yeah, Roman's problem is okay, so he's had matches with Jey Uso, he's had matches with Kevin Owens. Those are his 2 most frequent opponents throughout his reign so far, and only 1 match with Braun Strowman. 2 if you count his title victory match. So you're gonna have to start, I know Vince hates to hear this, but Vince, you're gonna have to start building up some stars. With great mid-card storylines, build them up and feed them to the dog, the mad dog, and everything. Like, you could do this. This could happen. Like, they have this bloated roster to do whatever they want with it. They have the money, they have the shows, they have the deals. They can make this work if they actually try. I mean, how many people actually work at WWE? It's had to be over 100 people at this point with the locker room. And wasn't reported back in 2019 that they're actually running out of space at the Performance Center because they kept buying too many people out because they don't want anyone else to go anywhere else. They got so desperate they try to hire Mr. Joey Ryan, and we all know how that would have worked out, considering what happened in 2020. But yeah, so and plus this could give us the chance to get Roman and Rock at WrestleMania 2022, because it's being said that he's trying to see if they can make it at least that date. So imagine this: Roman Reigns defeats all these people for 2 years, beats The Rock during the middle of his reign, moves on, and then drops the title at SummerSlam. Now imagine this: who would be the guy to dethrone him after a 2-year extended length like that, being some of the biggest stars, the biggest faces, the mainstream star of The Rock? Who would be worthy enough to wield the power of the Universals? Well, that's a difficult question. I have probably 3 people I can think of right now. Let's see. You could do Jey Uso, have him redeem himself and break Roman off in the most pissed off way possible, but that's just a honorable option. Daniel Bryan's not on the list because he's already transitioning into a part-time role. So if I had to take a guess, it would have to be someone young, someone that hasn't been given the main event spot, hasn't been able to run with the belt to get something fresh on to uproot the status quo, the foundation of it. So I would say you can either have a face Mustafa Ali, which would be awesome after his debacle with Retribution. We all know how that's working out. Or you could have any one of the NXT guys to do it, like Johnny Gargano, and we all know Johnny's awesome, or Adam Cole, or hell, bring up Tommaso Ciampa. Though after what Vince tried to do, I think it'd be best Ciampa doesn't ever talk to him ever again, unless he prefers beating the hell out of him. But let's see. There's the obvious answer. We could go with Big E Langston, or just Big E as he's called now. I still remember him being called Big E Langston because long names are more memorable to me than the short ones, because Vince has a problem with long names. But yeah, I think has Roman rightfully earned a shot to have a 720-day reign as champion? As long as they keep the cutthroat promos, the quality of the presentation he's been given, and this package of gold that he's been delivering every single week. Yeah, I rightfully think he's earned it. You have a shot here, Vince. You can make money with this. Roman being champion for 2 years, you get what you want. Fans get the heel Roman Reigns they always wanted. We get cutthroat quality content, and you get to make a new star out of someone who ever beats him, along with Rock and Roman if you're able to get that. You just need to convince Hollywood. And it would work. It would work. You could, if you really were desperate enough to make it a 3-year run and have it last till the next WrestleMania after Rock and Roman. Okay, fine, that's a big gamble, but I would feel like SummerSlam would be the best place to end it. But yeah, it could work. It really could. I would welcome that idea if it's done right and done in a consistent manner. I'm not going to say everything he can do will be forever gold. There's going to be some blunders at times, and there's still the risk of injuries and all that could happen. I think the biggest problem is that whereas WWE operates 300 days a year, even though with the COVID crisis and everything, the house shows were being canned, and WWE seemingly suggesting that they're going to lessen the house shows, whereas New Japan has, their monthly shows and those in-between special shows. That's the big thing, and also the risk of overexposure if you have Roman be on on both shows, or on one or just one show, but have him completely circle around the show. And plus, you gotta get involved with the TV stuff. You gotta get the TV stuff, whereas New Japan doesn't have a weekly show. So that's the major determinative factors in all of this. So has Roman rightfully earned a shot to have a belt run with the championship reign of Okada the last 720 days, 2 years? I think so. Could he do it? I certainly believe he can. He has Paul Heyman with him. He has the Empire with him, because that would make much more fitting sense for his name of a faction than Will Ospreay's. But yeah, those are just my conjectured thoughts on that. So those were my thoughts on the idea of Roman Reigns having an Okada reign. And this was Neo Reality WrestleVerse. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Don't check out my other channels in the description below. Stay tuned for more. I'll see y'all next time. And take care, everyone. Peace.